However, the Inspector General may accord additional security detail to specific persons.
Gilbert Masengeli's goose seems to have not only been cooked, but thoroughly roasted and seasoned with a handful of legal troubles, just moments after he boldly declared war against the judiciary. In a tragic twist, his battle appears to have backfired spectacularly.
Maamuzi ya jaji yale ambayo yalipitishwa yana dosari mingi sana, na ndiposa nimeelezewa niweze kuelekea katika mahakama ya Court of Appeal tuweze kubishana na kuondoa zile ambazo ni zile orders zilizopeanwa pale.
Remember when his lawyer Dansan Omari confidently stated they would appeal the 6-month jail sentence? Well, they made it to the Court of Appeal, but their hopes were quickly extinguished. The appeal to suspend Masengeli's sentence was swiftly and decisively shot down. In a dramatic courtroom scene, Justices Agri Muchelule, Getembu Kairu, and Weldon Korir firmly rejected the pleas of Masengeli's star-studded legal team, led by Cecil Miller and State Counsel Emmanuel Bitter. Their request to temporarily halt the sentence was dismissed, leaving Masengeli in a precarious position. The judges, not in the mood for any delays, ordered the appeal be heard next week by a special bench appointed by the President of the Court of Appeal.
Not be withdrawn whimsically. The act of withdrawing the security of a sitting judge following a judicial decision that displeased certain authorities is deeply concerning. It sends a cheering message to the judiciary and indeed to the public at large.
This legal defeat came hot on the heels of a simmering showdown between Masengeli and Chief Justice Martha Koome. Masengeli had accused the Chief Justice of tarnishing the National Police Service's image over the recall of security personnel assigned to Justice Lawrence Mugambi, the very judge who had sent him packing to a 6-month stint in jail.
They were not recalled that he remained without security. They were replaced immediately. So that was just an ill-intended cause of alarm.
The standoff was seen by many as a heavyweight title fight between the judiciary and the police, each flexing its muscles to show who truly runs the show in matters of governance. But the gods of fate weren't done with Masengeli. As if his problems couldn't get worse, the Kenya Judges Welfare Association fired another shot, lodging a formal complaint with the Independent Policing Oversight Authority, IPOA. Meanwhile, Martha Karua and opposition leaders entered the bandwagon, demanding the National Police Service Commission hold Masengeli accountable for contempt of court or force him to resign.
The constitutional order in this country is failing is because we have somebody at the helm who never really supported this constitution. You will all recall that in 2010, President William Ruto mounted a campaign against the Constitution of Kenya 2010. So the fact that he disrespects, doesn't respect judicial authority, security of the judges, it doesn't surprise me. In fact, I'm surprised Kenyans are surprised by the fact that this president doesn't respect the rule of law. But it is very, to be honest for you, it's very mediocre of him to actually do that. We know it's because Masengeli is supposed to be, and the tragedy of this is this. You have police officers who are supposed to enforce court orders. Now, when they disobey court orders, what are we looking into? We are looking into a jungle country. Anarchy. We are looking into anarchy. Because if the policemen do not respect the orders of the court, then what do you expect Kenyans to do? This is anarchy in the making. And President William Ruto should be held accountable for that. I don't even know why he appointed this fellow Masengeli.
But just one point to add on to that. Remember, the Constitution makes the employer of every policeman, not the president, not anybody, but the people of Kenya through the National Police Commission. We want to ask the National Police Commission to wake up. They are in slumber. They should sanction their employee, one Masengeli. And if they are afraid of Ruto and his regime, they should go home and not take our money for work not done.
The Judges Association claimed that following Justice Mugambi's ruling, a certain Inspector Riri, allegedly attached to the Judiciary Police Unit, took matters into his own hands. He reportedly called the judge's driver and bodyguard, instructing them to surrender their firearm and report back to GSU headquarters. This move was seen as a blatant act of retaliation. Association President Justice Patrick Otieno upped the ante, insisting Masengeli must issue a public apology to the judiciary. And just when you thought things couldn't get any worse for Masengeli, the parliament came knocking. Under the watchful eye of Speaker Moses Wetangula, they approved the appointment of Douglas Kanja as the new Inspector General of Police, booting Masengeli out of his temporary role as an acting Inspector General.
Our members have a message from the Senate on the approval of a nominee for appointment to the position of Inspector General of the National Police Service. Honorable members, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 41-4, I wish to report to the House that on 21st August 2024, I received a message from the Senate regarding the approval of Mr. Douglas Kanja Kirocho for appointment to the position of Inspector General of the National Police Service. Honorable members, the message conveys that the Senate, by a resolution passed on 20th August 2024, approved the appointment of Mr. Douglas Kanja Kirocho as the Inspector General of the National Police Service. Honorable members, you recall that the approval hearings for the nominee for Inspector General of the National Police Service were conducted jointly by the relevant committees of the two houses of Parliament in line with established practice.
As the heat on Masengeli intensifies, murmurs of political witch hunts have begun circulating, particularly from his Luhya community. Many Luhya leaders claim that Masengeli is being unjustly crucified, arguing that he's become a political scapegoat. The first Luhya to hold such a prestigious position, now seemingly toned down in a campaign of retribution.
So hatutaki Masengeli aingishwe kwa siasa ya Rigathi na Ruto. That is a policeman, amesoma, ako hata mimi mwenyewe nimeenda class na Masengeli. Mtu ako na masters, mtu anatumia akili, hata kuwa polisi wa hivi hivi, ni polisi anatumia akili, si ndio hiyo? Sawa sawa. Sasa makosa ya Koome, mtu ambaye inafaa aende kwa polisi kwa court kujibu maswali ni ule Koome. Watu walikufa during Koome's reign. They never died during Masengeli's reign. So Masengeli cannot be a sacrificial lamb for mistakes that were done by the past regime of police. Koome must carry his cross alone. Waite Koome ajibu maswali, lakini sio Masengeli. Masengeli ameingia tu kwa ofisi juzi akapata matope. Hiyo matope waangalia nani alileta hiyo matope hapa.
Whether it is bad luck, power struggles, or something more sinister, we are very sure that Masengeli's fight is far from over, but the odds are stacking up against him.